So my husband gets out of prison after all of this. And when I tell you, I know I said it in the last episode, but that was the longest, worstest days of my life. Those 31 days that he spent in prison, like I literally slept on his dirty pile of clothes that was just left at the house. It was so terrible. At the end of the day, this message, you guys, the reason why I'm sharing this, number one, because the video literally is now at 1.1 million views on YouTube. And I got so many messages from people saying that they were either cheating, being cheated on, or healing from that situation, but they still chose to stay. And they were asking me questions like, how did you heal? How did you move forward? How did you forgive yourself? And that's huge. That's like a really big thing, because not only, was it a bad situation? Like it was internally, like I had to look myself in the mirror and have a come to myself moment. Like what is it about you? What is it about you that lacks this much discipline, this much self-love, this much respect, that you would be able to not only do this to yourself, but do this to another human being, and not only another human being, but the father of your child? Like it was a huge awakening that time in my life. I grew a whole lot individually, and my husband and I grew together as a couple. So my husband and I actually remember the ending of this story a little bit differently. So I remember the story. I thought that my husband actually went to the guy's house. When I mentioned it to my husband the other day, he didn't remember going to his house, but he did remember having a conversation with him. And so all this time, I remember the conversation. I'm paraphrasing, but then I'm actually going to let you hear what my husband said, because I actually recorded it. I remember my husband forgiving him, like saying, like, I understand. And like, I understand, what you did, as, as far as like being a man and approaching just a woman in general, regardless if she was somebody else's wife, you were just seizing the opportunity, basically. And all this time, I thought like my husband meant it, like he forgave him, blah, blah, blah. But when I asked my husband the other day, this is what he had to say. Okay, listen.
Just remember saying something like, it's a dude, you're a dude, so something is that, like, you're a dude, I understand that you went and trying to get my wife, I mean, that side.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the, I don't know what you remember of that. I guess something else, but I remember you having that conversation on the phone. I did. One mother think it was cool. When I called up, and one would be cool and tell them.
Okay. I hope you were actually able to hear that. So basically what he was saying was that he talked to him and said, yeah, I understand what you were doing, or, understand that, you were a dude trying to be with my wife. And like I said, I thought that he had some forgiveness around it, but my husband was saying, but I ain't mean it. Like, he was like, if I would have caught up to him in that time, like, things would have happened. And so that was actually shocking for me to learn 20 something years later that my husband did not really mean that. And now that I think about it, like, you would assume, like, of course, that perhaps, but I did think that my husband was like, more for, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I thought, child. Well, I do know what I thought. I thought that my husband genuinely understood and forgave him. And he said that he did. However, he was still, okay, so that part. So anyway, you guys, thank you guys so much for being nosy and wanting to hear about this story. Again, do not do this. Get out if you are in a situation like this. It rarely ends pretty. I cannot express that enough. I really cannot express that enough. For any of you guys who have gone through any kind of life situation, it doesn't have to be as tumultuous as what I just shared. It can be becoming a successful mom or being a teenage mom or whatever your story is. If you have a story, a message, if you were once in a mess, like that whole series that I just did, that's called a mess, okay? And I have now turned that mess into my message. If you feel like that is your calling, I'm hosting a 5-day no fee challenge. This is the Mess to Message Challenge. It's going to happen this July 12th through July the 16th. At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to put all the information in the description box below. This is not for everybody, okay? This is for those of you who have a message. For those of you guys who sent me messages saying, why would you tell your business like this? This is not for you. And I understand that position. You know, people coming online and sharing something like this. Somebody said, funniest thing, sent me a message and said the FBI couldn't have got that information out of me, child. And that to me is so funny. And I get it. That's like me seeing somebody cleaning windows in a high rise. Like, child, you couldn't get me to do that. Right. But they're called to do that. Like they're not afraid of heights. It's just in them to be able to do that with no fear. Me, my calling is to share my messages, to share my life. My name is Angel, messenger of God, right? And so I have no fear around sharing my story. I have no shame around it, no guilt around it. And mainly because I've done the work. Yo, I'm almost 50 years old. This was when I was in my 20s. And even now, like the stuff that I do now, I understand now at this big age that nobody is perfect. We all got stuff that we going through, getting through, healing from, and all the things. So if you feel like that you are that person that's called to share your story to help and heal other people, this challenge is for you. So click the link in this description box below. And if you're watching this video and the time has passed, you're still going to be able to get access to the replay of this. So if you're watching this and it's not in and the challenge has passed, you're still going to be able to gain access to it, because I'm going to leave the replays up, because I believe that this is an extremely important message to get out into the marketplace, because a lot of people do have a call in their life to share their story, but maybe they haven't yet done the work. Maybe there's still some shame, some guilt, some regret around their situation, and they need to do that work in order to then start to actually get in alignment with the assignment that's on their life and share their story. So if this spoke to you, I'm talking to you, and I will see you on July the 12th through the 16th. Everything is in the description box below. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Nosies. Sitting here editing the video, and I forgot that I didn't answer this one question. So how we became friends again is that I saw her mother in the grocery store after years of not speaking to her, and she wasn't doing well personally in her life. And I don't want to speak the specifics of that, because that's her story to tell. But her mother was crying to me and telling me all about what was going on. And so that's how we started speaking again. I reached out to her because of what she had going on, and we started speaking again then. And then it was like not like nothing happened, because I always had that in the back of my mind, what she had done. But like I said, it was just until a couple of months ago that I guess officially stopped speaking to her, because I just kept thinking, like, girl, what did you want? Like, what was the outcome? What when you told him this, like, what did you envision was going to happen? Like, to me, at this big age, it just don't sit well with my soul to break bread with someone like that has that type of character. And not to say that my character was all up to par either, right? You attract who you are, and vice versa. And so, but you know, I've grown, and this is the decision that I'm choosing to make now. So I hope that answered your question.